Okay, I'm starting.
I'll email you, or if there is a time, I'll share you now also.
Yeah.
No.
Let us start today's thing. So yesterday we learned a basics of Java, like what is Java, how to install the Eclipse and JDK that you already did, but I just gave you a summary. And then we have what is a class, how to create a class. That is like a structure of Java. After that, in your life, you have created some operators, variables, and then you used operators to do some operations. And then you process the request and you got the response in the console. This is what we see. So the next thing we are going to see is validation. What is meant by a validation is you are going to check after you process, you are getting some result. No, you are going to check whether the result is expected or not. Okay, for example, I'm saying like I'm giving a 3 inputs to you, say A, B, C variable, holding a value, say 10, 20, 30. All this you have already did. Okay. Now I'm saying, can you please validate and tell me whether the number is greater than or equal to 100? The sum of 3 numbers. I'm just telling you, you have to calculate whether the sum of 3 numbers is greater than 100. So how you can do it? How you are doing it in your brain? First you are adding and then you are validating by comparing it with the 100. To compare, what is the things you will use? You will use greater than symbol, less than symbol, greater than or equal to symbol, less than or equal to symbol, equal to symbol. Either of this you will use it to validate the result. Right? So we are going to validate that. Now see, the sum of 3 numbers means A plus B plus C. So the result can be stored in other variables, say D. So I'm checking whether D is greater than 100. Okay. If D is greater than 100, what the value return is, it is comparing what the computer after comparing it will say is whether it is true or false. The value that returns you is true or it is false. These type of value is called as a Boolean. Boolean means after comparing, like how your human brain saying yes or no, similarly the computer will compare the number, compare with anything. Based on the comparison operator, it will return you true or false. Okay, let us do it. First we will learn how comparison operator will work. Then I'll tell you how to use the conditional operators.
Okay.
This is the project we have created. So let's use this project itself. So now we are creating a 3 inputs, 3 variables, int A equal to 10, int B, int C. Now in syso, okay, that is the system.out.println. First let's add the things. Int D equal to A plus B plus C. So the value of C, we are going to check whether it is greater than 100. After compare, the system will say whether it is true or false. Yeah, if it is greater than 100, it will return you true. If it is not greater than 100, it will return you false. Now see, it's false because it's only coming as 70. If you give less than 100, so it will return you true. Okay, so now you know what the computer is telling you out, true or false. If it is true, you have to tell your user that D is greater than 100. Otherwise, you have to tell the user D is not greater than 100. How you can do it? Based on the validation true or false, you have to do set of execution, set of statement processing. For that, we will use something called as a conditional statements. Conditional statement can be done using only if. I'll tell you what is all this, okay? If, else if, else, nested if. Okay. What is this is, you can write if and here you can give the condition. Okay. Like A is greater than B, whatever the comparison thing you can give. If it is returning true, then you can have this open and whatever you wanted to write here, you can do it. If you want to print anything, you can do. If you want to process anything also, you can do. Okay. If the condition is not true, it will not go inside this. It will come out and it will do whatever you are writing it here. Now, if the condition is not true, you wanted to process another set of things, you can have it as else. So inside else, you can write whatever you wanted to. Okay, just for let's learn and then slowly we will go with else. Now, same thing. I'm writing if D is greater than 100, something you are going to write. What is D greater than 100? Okay, and you can write something, whatever you want. So this is not this is not as a part of validation. This is like a flow. If it's true or false, if this is executing or not executing, after the statement will execute. Okay, just continue. Okay, so what I am telling us, so if D is greater than 100, then it will go inside, otherwise it will not go. It will continue with other execution. That's why now see, it will D is not greater than 100, so it will not execute anything. It will just proceed with other statement. But I want another set of operation. If this validation is not true, I have to do another set of means I can write it inside else. What this will do is, if this is not true, only this will be executed. If this is true, this will not get executed. It will go ahead with other thing. So now see, if D is greater than 100, no, it is not greater than 100. It will come, if else is there, it will come inside the and it will execute. Now let's see. Then it will proceed further. Now, I want to check if D is greater than 100, I have to do set of operation. Otherwise, I have to check if D is greater than 50. Otherwise, I have to do operations like D is not greater than 100 as well as greater than 50. So how I can do is, if I wanted to check another condition, then I have to write else if. So now first it will come. So let me debug and show you. This is like stepwise manual execution I'm going to do. So now one by one, let's see how it works. So the process is done. So value of D, you can see value of D is 60. See manually 60 is greater than 100. No. So it will not go inside. It will come to the next block. It will check if 60 is greater than 50. Yes. So it will come inside this one. Then it will come out. Okay. So now, for example, let us take, so now the value is 110. That means it's greater than 100. That means this statement should get executed. It should avoid these two things. So let's see. D is greater than
Right
50.
now it is okay.
Okay. So like that only, you can just execute and see. So now the value is 100. So 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. So 110 means it's greater than 100. So see, D is greater than 100. So this is how the conditional operator does. If the same thing, if D is greater than 100 and you wanted to check if D is equal to 110, you can have, so this is like nested if. Nested if means you are having a if inside if. Here also you can have else if, else, anything. Okay. So this is called as nested. Nested means you are having one statement, inside that you having another statement. If this is confusing, let me write one more example for this. Now, so now we were playing with numbers. Let's play with strings. String fruits equal to apple. Okay. I'm just check comparing. If fruits equal to apple. Okay. Just comparing this and writing it out. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to check one more thing. So if fruit is equal to apple, then I'm checking if name equal to ABCD or ABC. Okay. Else, okay. So what I am doing is, now let's take a note. What I have written is the input is fruits equal to fruits variable is holding apple. Okay. So what I am doing is, if the fruit is holding an apple, if fruit is holding an apple, then I'm writing something called as name is ABC. I mean, system.out apple should be printed. Okay. Otherwise, suppose the fruit is not holding apple, then I'm printing it as it is not apple. So come inside here. If it is apple, then I am validating whether the name is holding a value ABC and I am printing name is ABC. If name is not holding ABC, then name is not ABC. I'm just holding like this. You can have this variable chart and you can validate it. So first I have declared two variables. One is fruits, another one is called as a name. So let's write it down. To memory location for string. The memory location name is fruits, and then the other memory location, that is the variable name, is name. Okay, and what is the value it is assigning? Apple. And here what it is assigning? Okay. Done. Now let's come to the next line. If fruit equal to, check what fruits variable is holding apple. Yes. Then it will come inside and it should print apple. So check. Let's have this notepad plus as a console. So it should print what output. This is how you will predict the output, apple. What is the next? If name equal to ABC, first check what the name variable is holding. Name variable is holding ABCD. So name equal to ABC? No, because name is holding ABCD. Then check for else block. If else is not there, it should come out. If else is there, then print this one. Name is not ABC. Next. That's all. It is coming out of this if. If it's true, so else will not work, because if inside if everything is worked on, so it's coming out of this and it is coming out of this. So the output
One
predict.
question, ma'am.
Yes.
If we are using nested,
Sorry, your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking. Hello. Hello.
my internet connection is unstable. Hello.
Now I'm able to hear you properly. Tell me.
Yeah. My question is it mandatory to use else inside the nested if, or it is optional?
No.
It depends. It depends on ours, right?
Yeah, I will tell you. If we remove else also, we can do it. I'll tell you. Once after we execute, we will remove else also. Okay. Now we predicted the output. Let's see. So what we predicted is right. See the notepad. Apple name is ABC. Now let's remove else. Okay. Now you are going to predict it. Okay.
Okay.
For any notepad, just predict it. You draw what fruits is holding, what name is holding. One by one, you have to check and tell me what is the output now.
Okay. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Now I'm able to hear you, da. Tell me.
Yeah, proceed.
Yeah.
Shall I
What
tell
is?
you
Yeah. Tell
the
me.
console?
Yeah. Tell me.
If fruits equal to apple, it will print out apple first,
Correct.
and then it go inside the nested if and check name is equal to ABC, and it's
Correct.
not, so it will come out of the loop, and that's
Come
it.
out of the statement. This is not a loop.
Yeah.
It will come out of the
Okay.
bracket.
That's all I think.
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah.
For you, let's. If this is
So
how.
only if the first is fails and else will proceed, right?
Correct.
And not the nested if.
No.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So now you are clear with conditional statement. Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next thing what we are going to learn is something called as a string operations. Okay. What is meant by a string operation is, now we learned the some things in the strings, like how to compare and all. But see, we are not able, so like how we are doing it with numbers, no, like you are able to do addition, you are able to do all processes in numbers, but in string we have lot of things, that is string comparison, find how many characters are in the string, whether the particular character are there in the string or not. There are a lot of things you have to do it in the words. So I will tell you out some of those things. So you will be very much flexible with doing the strings. In future also you can learn many things. Okay, let's do that. Let me create two strings. Now, if you wanted to compare two string, as we compare the number also you can do. Otherwise, one more thing you can do, it is called as a equals method. So you can compare word 1 whether it is equal using equals and give word 2 variable. So what will happen? The value of word 1 is Jack will be retrieved and it will compare with the word 2 Jill and it will tell whether it is equal or not equal like this.
Okay.
So for this model, you can also give the string and also you can compare. Anything you can do, like numbers one. Don't get confused between the numbers and words. You can do it hard-coded values as well as by using the variable also. Now if you run, like how in numbers we are having the comparison operators to validate, like that for you have equals. So you can have, these are the things, strings you can use for comparison. Equals, equal ignore case, contains. Equals means it will check whether both the letters including the cases are same. If you give equal ignore case, it will not validate the case. It will only validate the both the words, characters. Contains means it will check whether a particular word is there in the particular. Now, for example, let me create two string, name, Tom and Jerry. Now, I wanted to check if Jerry is there inside this particular string. I can check if name dot contains Jerry. So now let's see how the control works. Let's open the paint again to have the variable. This chart is only to make us flexible. So two, three variables created for string.
Since because it is string, we are using that equals like that, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. If it is integer, we'll use assignment operator.
Equal to. No, assignment is only one equal to. To compare whether they are equal, you'll use 2 equal to.
Okay. To compare 2 equal to and to assign
Only
it will be
1
1.
equal to. See, we are using this assignment operator to assign the value to this variable.
Okay.
Now, three variables and the value is Jack. let's come to the statement. If the word one is a variable, word one is holding Jack dot equals to word that is Jill. Jack is equal to Jill? No. So it will come to else and it should print this one, not equal. So it should print not equal. Next, name. What is the name is holding? Name is holding Tom and Jerry. Contains Jerry. Check. Yes. So it is true. So it is come here and it should print contains Jerry. So output is predicted. So let's run and see. See, got it? Now, this is the comparison thing. What is the next thing we are going to learn is how to find the length of the string. To find the length of the string, length is a number. So it will be saved in int, okay? Int, size of the word, anything. Variable name can be anything. Which string you want to find the length, that string dot length. This will give you how many words are there in that particular string. Now, if the word is this means it will give you 4 as an output. You can print and see. 4. Okay. So this is the thing. Next, what is the next thing is now you know how to compare the string, how to find the size of the string. What now if you wanted to remove the spaces like beginning and the end, how you can do is using a trim. Now let's create one string. Basically, there are a lot of string operators. I'm only telling whichever is important.
Okay.
Now, so this string is like having the space in front less back. Okay. So if you print the string name one, it will print along the space. See. Okay. If you want to remove this particular space, you can name one dot trim. If you use trim, it will remove the space in front as well as in the back. See the difference? Can you see the space is removed?
What the previous one? Hello, your voice is breaking.
Oh, my voice is
Can you comment? Yeah. Can you please come again this space thing again?
Sure. So the name one variable is holding hello with space in front as well as back. Can you see?
Yeah.
Now, if I want to remove the space, I can use something called as a trim, which can be done like name the which string you want to remove the space, that string dot. So this will remove the space in front and back. See, without trim, you can see this how it prints. It will print along with the space. After I use the trim, you can see it is removing the space. Can you see?
Yeah.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
One more important thing is called as a split method. So, but that is only we can learn array, then you will understand so that we can avoid it. I'm just thinking like what are the other string operations that I can cover it. So there are a lot of string operations because the string operations will come along with JDK. Whenever the JDK is getting this methods and all, see, the classes methods that we are using are predefined. Someone has written the code and they are giving us a part of JDK. So we are using for some functions like how addition we are doing like that. They are doing some couple of Java code. When we use this, it is doing some operations for us. So whenever the JDK is updated, lot of string methods, lot of methods will be on top of it. So when you placed in the project, if there is a condition for you to work on some requirement, then you have to just browse through all the string functions. Don't think, oh, we did not cover it in the session, so it will not be that. No, this is like to make you confident with strings to make you develop a confidence with integer. Doesn't mean only this functionality is there. There are a lot of functionality that you can utilize it by using lots of research. Okay. So
Yeah, understood.
yeah, these are the steps I wanted to do it. So let me open our sorry. Aishwarya, we have completed conditional statements today, and strings, I took additional things which is not in the syllabus, but it's very useful for you. And we will be what is loops. What is meant by a loop? I'll tell you what is meant by a loop so that you will be ready tomorrow to learn that. Loops are nothing but okay. Now you think you have created a robot. Okay, create a robot. Every day what you will do, you suppose you are in home and you are a single living in some apartment. So you every day you have a habit of making a tea and you don't have milkman coming to your house. What you will do, you go to the shop and get the milk. Every day you will go to the shop and get the milk, no? So in one day you are thinking every day I'm doing the same activity. What if some machine can do it? Because you are not doing anything with your human brain. You only doing the same thing again and again. So you're creating a robot to go and get the milk packet and come. So you can schedule. So how you can do it is every day the same actions you are making the robot do it again and again by feeding some inputs. So that is called as a looping. Okay. So looping is nothing but doing repeated actions. Okay. So for doing that, what are the things you just tell me? In milk packet itself, you're creating a robot. Now you're going to create what are the things you wanted to feed the robot to do it. First, you have to schedule the robot start and end date, correct? To do it, when you want to, every day it has to go. So start date, from when onwards it has to go and get it, and then end date, correct? After that, what you have to do, what in that date, what it has to do. We can take it as processing statement. Okay. So these are the inputs. If you know, you will be able to design a robot to go and do the action. So this is called as a looping. Only this one we are going to design it tomorrow. We are going to design a couple of code to get the milk packet by scheduling the start and end time. Start and end time. Okay. We will be learning how we can achieve this. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'll share you the recording today, and I'll also share the assignment for today. Please do it, work on it. Tomorrow we'll see for loops. Okay.
Yeah, sure. I will share you the yesterday's assignment in your
Yeah, sure.
email.
Cool.
Please
Okay.
do check
Bye.
and update me.
Sure, sure. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
No
Bye.
problem. Bye.